Hello and welcome to the third episode of Poolzcast. Today we are going to have our AMA with the CEO and founder of Bidshop. Welcome. Please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about the project Bidshop as a first question.
Awesome, perfect. So first of all, thank you for having me. Excited to be part of this awesome show and also part of Pools. And yeah, my name is Aviv. I'm actually the co-founder. We're together with a group of awesome people. We built Bidshop. We've been working on it for the past year or so, being incubated by Kucoin Labs and also backed by them and Republic. And in my role in Bidshop, I really focused on the product development and testing, as we had a very extensive period of testnet that was live and also beta mainnet that is live now. So testing how the community and the players, how they interact with the auctions, with the different mechanisms that we are creating, and helping to guide the development process through the feedback that we're getting, so we can deliver the best gamified auction experience that is possible on Web3 today.
Perfect. Thanks a lot for the great introduction. Now, given it's a new sort of project and offering, can you please tell us a little bit about the platform and what is unique about it compared to other projects?
Awesome. So yeah, I think I'll start with the most critical aspect and what we focused most of the attention during the past year, and that's generating the encryption layer that's possible on top of any EVM that allows us to create a big variety of games. So Bidshop is the first fully privatized on-chain auction house, and it's introducing new ways to generate liquidity for Web3 assets. And the way we do it is we connect between the secret network and basically any EVM. And our first approach is Polygon, which is very convenient for feed and gas cost, to basically kind of create a game that has an encryption layer, but also completely decentralized and breaking apart the game into pieces that are open and viewable to everyone as part of the game mechanics, and sensitive parts of the game that are critical to be encrypted and outside of the view of all the other players in the secret. So what we did is basically we created the encryption layer on top of the EVM that enables us to create all kinds of gamification aspects. If I dive in a bit more into our crown jewel and what we're focusing at the moment, is we have a style gamified auction where the winner of the auction is the player that placed the highest unique offer. Now, let me explain how it works by giving some sort of an analogy. So, do you know the game Battleship?
Yeah.
It's a kids game that you need to guess where the other person placed their ships, and basically during the game you try to sink the other ships, and you want to keep your ships alive last. So let's imagine we have a kind of a board, a 10 by 10 board. So we have 100 slots, and you, me, and many other players can put our ships in this board, and basically every ship is a bid that I'm making. Now, the value of the bid doesn't matter. Okay, the board is abstract. It's just 10 by 10. It has numbers just so we can understand what is the highest value. But what's interesting is that as we place bids or ships on the board, we burn each other, we destroy each other. And the whole game is how can I, as a player, position my ships, my bids, in a way that when the auction ends, my ship, again, my bid, is the highest standing ship. So how it works is that, how did we make it fun in a decentralized way? Because before the encryption layer, it was impossible, because anyone would be able to see where all the other players are placing their bids, and they can attack them exactly in their position and get the first rank. So what we did is we took the value of the position itself, the value of where your ship is positioned, and that part we encrypted and we took it out of the game. But we're still showing where or how many ships are above me. So let's get back to the 10 by 10 kind of frame. And I placed my bid in position 55 out of the 100. So I will get, if no one else is there, so I can get a rank for my bid. And that rank will tell me how many bids are above me. Now, I won't know where they are between 56 and 100, but I will know that if my rank is 10, then there are 9 bids above me in this area.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so as it's many players versus many players, all of them are trying to activate their kind of the game theory strategic to say, okay, so most people were probably going to bid on top, so probably that area will be burned and out of the game, because a position where 2 players have placed a bid on or placed a ship on is destroyed for everyone.
Yeah.
So I would probably won't put a bid on 99 on slot number 99, because it's probably going to be burned. So I'm going to put on 85 maybe. And then I will see the rank. So let's say the rank is 5. So I will try to position something higher than that. And if I get burned, so I say, okay, so probably this is already a war zone. I already too crowded and completely burned. So I want to bid lower than that to try to find the new ceiling and then climb myself to the first rank again. So that's the dynamic of the game. In a minute, I'll also be able to share screen with you and show you how it looks. I hope that will be much better,
So it's a
easier to
gamified
understand.
experience, basically. That's really cool. Now, I guess you've answered the next question to some extent, but feel free to add more. What is the, I guess, first of all, is there any competitor in the space? If not, then no, but can you also explain the concept of initial bid offering, or IBO? I mean, you explained it a bit, but maybe a bit more detail.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I can say that what we're doing is we created an auction, and now we're using this auction to generate liquidity. And when I say generate liquidity, it means that we want to gather liquidity from many players, each of them having their own gamified experience, and they're not required to invest a large amount of funds, and still give them the potential to win a big prize. So I think the closest competition we can easily understand is all kinds of lottery mechanisms, okay? And where many people purchase a lottery ticket and they pay $1 for it or whatever, and then thanks to all of the funds collected by the buyers, the company can raffle a $1,000 prize, okay? So in the same concept, we are also generating liquidity through many players, each placing a bid fee every time they place a bid, every time they place one of their ships. But The main difference is that, not like lottery, what we created here is a game that is also very much dependent on understanding, on game theory, and on skill. And what we managed to prove during the 6 months, more or less, of running testnet and beta mainnet is that players that came and understood the game and played it were able to win more often and in bigger prizes. So the biggest change, or the biggest differentiator we have, is that we are actually a skill game that, of course, is also has some elements of luck and, starting from a good position to find the top rank as fast as possible. But we're a skill game, and that is what incentivizes users that have smaller capital to play against big whales or big players, because suddenly they have the ability to win, to beat them. And now, if I connect it to the IBO, to the initial bid offering, this is how we took the mechanics of the auction game that we see it operating and generating interest and engagement and fun for our community already. And we said, let's use this mechanism and kind of put it on steroids to bootstrap liquidity, bootstrap revenue, bootstrap the community to a larger scale. So the way the initial bid offering auction works is that not only are players of the auction playing to win the auction prize, but actually all of the participants of the auction are earning volume rewards in our native token. So this is very similar to what Luxor did, for example, where for the trading volume that you generated, you were compensated with Ethereum reward. So the same concept, players that play our auctions will be compensated and will actually be able to farm our token based on the amount of volume they're generating. Now, the moment we create an incentive for people to farm our token through placing bids and participating in the auction, we generate this inflow of bid fees to the auction. And what we're doing is that all the revenue we're generating from these auctions is being distributed back to stakers. And so if you stake LP of our token, then you're able to enjoy the revenue that the platform is generated. And then we have kind of a very positive feedback flywheel or loop where we incentivize people to place bids because they're farming our token. We take the revenue generated back to the stakers. So then if you manage to farm tokens, you now have the incentive to stake it because you're going to enjoy the Ethereum rewards that are generated through users and auctions that are being settled. And so there is kind of a positive feedback loop where the more staking, the higher the token price, the bigger the incentive is for people to farm and place bids in the auction, and the higher the Ethereum rewards for the stakers. And that's how everything rolls together. So our IBO mechanism is basically our way to distribute our token in a very fair distribution way based on volume generated and people staking the token as well.
Well, thanks a lot for a detailed explanation. Very, very well explained. So I'm sure the audience will enjoy.
I hope so.
Now, you've already touched on a bit about Kucoin and Republic, but could you talk a little bit, I guess, short detail about the team, other partners and backers that you have?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, everything is the team. We are a group of people, around 10 people, mostly developers, some for the operational aspects and marketing. And we just have a very strong connection and good understanding of what each of us is in charge of and how we all become like this kind of a symbiotic organism that works well together. And we have been working in the past, some of us in different groups together, so we have a good foundation for the relationship. And now this is the first time that as a group, this all 10 people are working together. And so yeah, everything is the team. I'm just a small part of what's going on, just talking to you guys today. And our backers, as you said, there are a few, but the ones that led the round, the seed round, were Kucoin Labs and Republic Capital. And I think that the fact that we were incubated by Kucoin Labs really helped us grow and improve our product and get feedback that was critical for us along the way. And it was very crucial to get this kind of insights and feedback from people that are very aware of what works and how things can work even and perform better as we improve our development. And I think that this is what brought us to the product we have today. And other than that, we have many partners that we connected with and we're continue working with today of communities that we generated a way to have kind of a win-win experience where we incentivize new communities to come and become also part of our community. And I think one of the latest announcements we had were Fancy Bird that we created a partnership with, and the Lifeform, and both of them are awesome communities and very passionate people that believe in this space and are able to help us spread the word and expand our audience to broader horizons. And we really feel that the strategy to grow our community by integrating more communities was very fruitful and allowed us to kind of keep everything passionate and not just scale big numbers but low interest as sometimes happen.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks for that. Now, very briefly, could you tell us a little bit, very briefly, about the roadmap and some of your upcoming plans?
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to talk too much about what's in the far future because I want the focus still to be on what's happening in the next few days and on the IBO mechanism. We have the IBO with you guys, and then we have the TGE on July 2nd, and many more interesting things to come during the month of July that I think will make many people happy. In general, we have a roadmap of awesome products, not only the initial bid offering mechanism, but also various products where we use the encryption layer we created to different auction styles. We have a silent NFT auction, we have a fair mint auction, we have a fair launch auction, all kinds of mechanism where we utilized our technology to generate value in an innovative way. So I won't go too much into details on that because I don't want to take the focus on what we're talking about, but we will share definitely more details as we progress.
Sure. Now, the BITS token, I guess the heart of the project. So, could you tell us a little bit about the token, the utility, tokenomics, and why we should hold it? Of course, you touched on some of the staking rewards, especially, but
Yeah.
if you feel there's anything missing, please feel free to add.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll get back to the staking rewards in a second. I just say that as our approach is very decentralized in mind, and that's a big part of our belief and view, and that's also why we created the game that wasn't possible in a decentralized way until now. And we also believe in the role of the community in shaping how the product continue evolving and where it goes. So we are going to introduce now some DAO elements, governance elements that will be a direct result of holding bids and staking and boosting bids into in different ways. But obviously, I think what will initially at least interest most of the users is the Ethereum rewards that, as I mentioned before, people staking our bids LP are going to enjoy staking rewards in Ethereum. Again, 100% of the platform revenue in Ethereum is distributed back to the stakers, and I think that would be the most attractive part of the tokenomics for it, at least in the beginning.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Now the question from the business side, as a project and as a business, what are the key ways that your platform, your token will lead to revenue generation for you?
So, again, as we see the decentralized part and the governance and the community is a big and important, if not the most crucial part of everything, we are considering ourselves, and that's also how the tokenomics works and how the revenue model works, as a part of this revenue chain. So as stakers of the token, and we have a vesting schedule of what we can stake and when, and it goes in a kind of a linear way, so we won't control the whole pool and just take all the rewards. So you can check our tokenomics, we have already published it. And so we take our share also as being stakers of the coin. And so that is what we are aiming to have serve us as our main revenue stream. And that is what we are aiming to help us is to use to continue growing and expanding our platform.
Yeah, amazing. Now, as you said, you touched a lot on community already, but maybe could you tell us a little bit of community-related plans that you've already had, campaigns, maybe a testing or a testnet, and potential rewards from that, and is there anything else coming post-launch?
Cool. So yeah, I think I will focus mainly on what's relevant right now, because our beta mainnet is still running and people have been actually farming for loyalty points in beta mainnet by placing bids, by participating in auction, even without winning auction prizes, although people have stacked up, I think, thousands of dollars already in prizes. And so by participating in the beta mainnet and placing bids, people can actually earn loyalty points, and that will be translated into airdrop that we will have soon after TG. And so we see a lot of interest in that, and we understand how it's incentivizing. So we invite people to come try the product, and placing a bid starts from 25 cents. So it's a very low barrier to entry, I would say, and see how it goes. After TG, we have also many different surprises where our community is going to enjoy, and the early users, early stakers are going to benefit the most. But I can't share too much information about that just now, but there will definitely be some interesting announcements soon.
Amazing. Now, as we mentioned, the IDO on Pools is going to be on the 30th of June. We've already mentioned your listing on the 2nd of July to be on Kucoin, but is there anything else about listing or about this coming week? Basically, is a big week for you. Any alpha or any information you want to share?
Okay, so first let me clarify one thing, so there won't be any misunderstanding. On 2nd of July is our TG event. it's not the listing event on Kucoin. When and where exactly it will happen, we will share the details
Okay.
when it's relevant and right ahead of schedule. We will have our TGE done on Balancer. We're gonna add liquidity for the pool so people can start interacting with the staking mechanism and start farming the token. And that's going to be what will go down on the 2nd of July. Now for the alpha or sneak peeks, I think he kind of stole my thunder, but we are planning to announce when relevant exactly when and where we will be listing, and more about that in the coming weeks.
And the token will be on Ethereum.
Right.
Yeah. Now, we are reaching the end of the AMA. I would like to give you an opportunity if you want to share anything about the project, a quick overview before we do the wrap up, as we discussed.
Yeah, maybe I do a quick screen share just so people understand what I babbled about so far. So let me just share my screen. So this is how the auction looks, and this is our beta mainnet. You can check it at app.bidshop.io, and you can see if you remember the grid that I talked about before. So this is very similar to that, and I can see that these are a few bids that I placed, and I see their ranks. So for example, I have a bid here that is rank 15. So it means that there are 14 bids above me, somewhere hidden here. And you can see that I already placed a bid here. Maybe I will be number one, but like I said before, this is the most common place for people to place bid, and it's burnt. So when I look at the rank table, I can see my own bids, okay, and I see my own bid values, but I can't see the other bids. That's the other people's bid. Those are encrypted, okay. So that's how the game works, and that's how you can see what layers are encrypted and what are exposed. And yeah, I think this helps a bit to understand how everything works.
That's pretty cool. I might now go and play myself.
Yeah, now that you know my bid values, you can burn me.
Yeah, I might try to do that. Thanks a lot, Aviv, for all the information that you've provided. I'm sure audience will really enjoy this information. There's a lot of valuable insight about the project, why they should, participate as a community member and invest. Before we, I guess, say our goodbyes, I want to, again, do you have anything else to want to add about the project, about the community, or anything else that you think we have missed out?
No, I think that's it.
Awesome. So on behalf of Pools and the community, I want to really thank you for your time and want to wish you the best of luck for your IDO on Pools on the 30th of June.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.